Peter Obi, the former Anambra State Governor and last presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the Nigeria 2023 general elections, has insisted that the three brothers among the 12 persons that died as a result of fire that engulfed the 25-story building of Great Nigeria Insurance House Plaza at Balogun Market in Lagos Island on Christmas Eve, called for help for days with no emergency response from the government under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, saying, the three siblings, Mr. Stephen Onyeka Omatu aged 40, Mr. Casmir Nnabuike Omatu aged 39, and Mr. Collins Kenechukwu Omatu aged 37, for days, sent distressing pleas for help while trapped in the building, yet there were no emergency services to rescue them. Several days passed in the rubble before their bodies were finally recovered, several days of unanswered calls, of a system that failed them at the moment they needed it most. Peter Obi made this statement after attending the burial ceremony of the three siblings held at Uzoakwa community in Ihiala local government area of Anambra State on Wednesday, after Lagos State Government through the Office of the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Gbenga Omotoso, in a statement issued on January 1, 2026, stated that as soon as the fire alarm was received on the day, the government deployed teams of first responders to the scene, including the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, Lagos State Ambulance Services, security agencies, and other emergency and safety units, but this statement from the Lagos State Government appears not to be in line with an eyewitness account, a resident who spoke with News Central Television at the scene of the fire incident, that a phone call was made across to a fire service in Lagos State, but the fire service demanded 30 million naira service fee before the fire service would respond to the emergency issue. The resident added that if the fire service had responded on time, the entire building would have been saved, probably with no life lost, because the fire was only at a single floor when the fire service was called. According to Punch newspaper, the three siblings died after being trapped inside the burning high-rise building in Lagos, an incident that shocked residents and reignited concerns over fire safety and emergency response in the country. According to family sources, the intensity of the inferno made rescue efforts impossible, and only ashes were recovered for burial. The burial brought grief and sorrow to Ihiala community, with residents praying that their souls find rest and that their family finds strength to pass through this trying time. After the burial, emotions ran high as the young wives of the deceased, family members, friends, schoolmates, and sympathizers gathered to bid a painful farewell. Some attendees, dressed in black and carrying posters of the three siblings, wept openly, struggling to come to terms with the tragedy that sent shock waves across the community. Punch Online had reported on January 7 that the fire started on the 4th floor and spread to the 6th before engulfing the remaining floors and adjoining structures. A detached section of the plaza, estimated at about 7 floors high, collapsed during the inferno, trapping some traders and market assistants. One of the families worst affected was the Omatu family, which lost three brothers, Steve, 40, Casmir, 39, and Collins, 37. The siblings were trapped in the building and are believed to have died in the fire. A surviving twin, Casmir Omatu, reportedly escaped the blaze. Peter Obi, in a statement published through his verified social media accounts, said, "Yesterday, I attended a deeply emotional and heartbreaking burial of three siblings, Stephen Onyeka Omatu, Casmir Nnabuike Omatu, and Collins Kenechukwu Omatu, the three young brothers whose lives were cruelly cut short in the Great Nigeria Insurance Building fire in Lagos, Nigeria. It is almost impossible to describe the depth of this tragedy. For days, these young men sent distressing pleas for help while trapped in the building, yet there were no emergency services to rescue them. Several days passed in the rubble before their bodies were finally recovered. Several days of unanswered calls, of a system that failed them at the moment they needed it most. This is not just a personal loss for their family, it is a national loss. This tragedy should serve as a reminder that our emergency services must be improved and accessible to every citizen. We cannot continue like this. Every life matters, and no Nigerian should ever have to endure such neglect or be left to perish in such a gruesome way, while help could have been provided. I pray that the souls of Steve, Casmir, and Collins find eternal rest, and that God grants their family the courage, strength, and comfort to bear this unimaginable grief. May we never forget them, and may we be moved to ensure such a tragedy never happens again. The Lagos State Government, according to Punch newspaper publication on January 2, 2026, has warned against the spread of speculation that may heighten public anxiety over the fire incident that occurred at the 25-story Great Nigeria Insurance House on Martin Street, Lagos Island, on Christmas Eve. The Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Gbenga Omotoso, said in a statement on Thursday, January 1, 2026, that the government had taken note of some speculations and assertions concerning the incident. Omotoso conveyed the government's sympathy to those who lost their loved ones in the incident, saying, "We feel their pain and understand their anxiety." He reiterated that as soon as the fire alarm was received on the day, the government deployed teams of first responders to the scene, including the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, Lagos State Ambulance Services, security agencies, and other emergency and safety units. Omotoso said the teams had also remained on site, conducting systematic search, rescue, and safety operations in line with internationally accepted emergency response protocols. They will remain there and continue to work until the completion of recovery operations, supported by thorough and forensic assessments, he said. Giving an update on the incident, Omotoso said, as of this morning, the total number of victims is 8 males, including a fireman, rescued with varying degrees of injury and taken to the hospital. 3 males and 2 females who sustained minor injuries were administered first aid and thereafter released at the scene. 1 adult female was extricated dead from the rubble, 2 adult males were extricated, and 3 persons were burnt. The government appealed to the public, affected families, and all stakeholders to exercise patience, restraint, and sensitivity, and to refrain from spreading speculation that could heighten public anxiety or undermine ongoing operations. In addition to the numbers of death, the National Emergency Management Agency of Nigeria, NEMA, on January 11, 2026, said it recovered 4 more burnt bodies from the scene of the fire incident. Accordingly, NEMA said, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has facilitated the deployment of heavy-duty equipment by the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation, CCECC, to support ongoing recovery operations at the site of the Great Nigeria Insurance Building on Martin Street, Lagos Island, which was gutted by fire on the 24th of December 2025. The multi-agency rescue and recovery operation remains complex due to the precarious structural condition of the 23-story building. However, significant progress has been recorded with the controlled removal of debris and the recovery of 4 bodies from beneath the rubble. NEMA is providing technical and operational support to ensure safety at the site while facilitating the deployment of CCECC equipment for controlled excavation and debris clearance. The excavation and debris removal operations are being carried out under the close supervision of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASMA, the Lagos Waste Management Authority, LAWMA, and other relevant response stakeholders. 4 burnt bodies were recovered from the rubble, properly documented, and handed over to the Lagos State Environmental Health Monitoring Unit, SHEMU, for onward transfer for forensic identification and dignified handling. The incident perimeter remains fully secured by the military, police, and other supporting security agencies, with barricades in place to restrict unauthorized access and ensure the safety of emergency personnel and the public. Meanwhile, a strategic coordination meeting was held involving NEMA Lagos Operations Office and key stakeholders, including the Honorable Commissioner for Special Duties and Intergovernmental Relations, Lagos State, Mr. Gbenga Omotoso, the Special Advisor to the Governor on ArcGIS and Urban Development, DRIVE, Olajide Babatunde, and the Chairman of the Community Development Association, CDA. The meeting focused on detailed planning of ongoing operations, including a phased approach to safe excavation, structural integrity assessment, controlled demolition, and eventual site rehabilitation. All activities at the site remain under the authority of LASMA and the Lagos State Government, with NEMA providing technical and operational support. Meanwhile, a Catholic priest, Father A. James, in a tweet on X social media platform on January 6, 2026, talked about the Omatu family and stated in quotes that there were 7 orphans in one family, 2 girls and 5 boys. One of them is a priest, Father William Omatu. 3 of their brothers were trapped in the Great Nigeria House Market fire on Lagos Island and died there on Christmas Eve, the 24th of December 2025. They did not die because it was inevitable. They died because, in Nigeria, life has become cheap. Because those meant to protect lives and property did not. Because no one came in time. Because, somehow, nobody cared enough. How does a family bury 3 promising sons on the same day? How do you explain such pain? This is not just sad. It is devastating. It breaks the heart. What hurts even more is knowing that their brother, a priest and my friend here in Scotland, the remaining siblings, will live the rest of their life and ministry carrying this memory, the knowledge of how their brothers died, and how helpless everyone was. May Nigeria not happen to any of us, in Jesus' name. I pray that the Lord grants this family the fortitude to carry a grief this heavy. May the souls of Stephen, Casmir and Collins rest in peace. Amen. On January 9, 2026, Father A. James also tweeted and said, I just came off a call with Father William Omatu, the brother of the 3 siblings that lost their lives in the Lagos Market fire, and he told me they could not recover the bodies of his brothers. They were left only with ashes. In fact, he showed me the ashes he had just collected from the site. This is painful and heartbreaking. He told me that about 100 people died in that building. What a tragedy. I cannot imagine what it feels like for him and his remaining siblings at this time, but I pray that God will see him through. Amen. Please keep them in your prayers as they travel for the burial.
I'm a living witness, and my friend they're also selling business in this plaza, so very close to this place. But what I observed when the fire started around 4 something is that they call some private fire service in the first places. They call them, and as they call them, they demand for 30 million naira. And the thing starts just only 1 floor, and the only 1 floor is not even everywhere. Just only particular little places in the first building, first floor. They should kill it. If they try to stop the fire, it won't get to this extent. And there is a way. Even they park at the opposite of where the fire is. The opposite of that building. They park there. They park there this evening. What is stopping them to stop the fire then before it gets to this extent? So that's my blame. That private fire service is supposed to be banned, because that is, in fact, it's so merciless. So that's all I can say about
it. Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetoken, for days now has refused to speak or deliberately kept mum after a well-known founder of a private organization, Harrison Gwamnashu, who have been assisting Nigeria security operatives with credible and reliable intelligence information that have led to the killing and arrest of several kidnappers, in a video statement on Saturday revealed the complicit of the Nigeria police force in aiding and trying to cover up a reasonable suspect behind the kidnapping of a couple in the late days of November 2025 at Avili community in the Etsiko West local government area of Edo State. And the reasonable suspect happened to be the younger brother of the man who was kidnapped alongside his wife, which, the kidnappers only set free the wife after a sting operational ransom money of 20 million nairas was given to the kidnappers, with the reasonable suspect fully aware of all arrangements of the top-secret security plans of Harrison Gwamnashu, but decided to make the sensitive security information public even when his elder brother is still held captive by the kidnappers. the reasonable suspect in a TikTok video live streaming, admitted that he was actually among the people arrested by soldiers over an issue. The reasonable suspect refused to state. The reasonable suspect, among others, were handed over to the Nigeria police force for the continuation of investigation and possible prosecution, but, according to Harrison Gwamnishu, immediately police noticed he was able to recognize the reasonable suspect as a family member who was aware of his security plans, and he was also the one that helped deliver the money to the kidnappers in the bush. An order within the police authority came, and the reasonable suspect was set free immediately, while others arrested alongside the reasonable suspect were remanded to prison. That aside, Harrison Gwamnishu, in an exclusive interview with TVC television station made available to the public by the broadcast media on Sunday night, indicated that the Nigeria police force had all the opportunities and chances to rescue the remaining kidnapped victims, but the police deliberately refused to go into the bush, with the police saying that the kind of intelligence information he had provided is an archaic style of intelligence gathering. This, according to Harrison Gwamnishu, forced him to show the police video evidences of how his style of intelligence has aided successful offensive operation against kidnappers, but all his explanations went on deaf ears. Even when for days, the tracking devices he added to the special money he mixed with the original money given to the kidnappers as ransom was still showing the exact location of the kidnappers and other useful information that could have enabled the police mobilize and rescue the remaining kidnapped victims. According to the reasonable suspect, Harrison Gwamnishu was actually contacted to help capture the kidnappers. This statement probably indicated that he ought not to be surprised that some original money was removed from the bag by Harrison Gwamnishu, except he can explain better how he expected Harrison Gwamnishu to capture the kidnappers without acting intelligently. Harrison Gwamnishu had said that the reasonable suspect came with the money with a lot of young people who were with him in the hotel. According to Harrison Gwamnishu, he visited the hotel the reasonable suspect was, and observed the presence of a lot of young individuals before he asked him to bring the money to his hotel room. Adding that, after the reasonable suspect brought the money to his hotel room, he left, leaving him, Harrison Gwamnishu, and the brother of the woman who was kidnapped with her husband in the hotel room. Harrison Gwamnishu said the wife's brother, who he said to be a medical doctor, was inside the room while he was scattering the money and replacing some with the tracking devices. The reasonable suspect failed to state why he left Harrison Gwamnishu inside the hotel room while he was working on the money. The reasonable suspect failed to state the issue he felt was more important than the life of his elder brother and his wife, that should make him leave Harrison Gwamnishu and others alone in the hotel room. The reasonable suspect also admitted that the kidnappers never counted the money. That, immediately he opened the bag in the presence of the kidnappers, saw the way and manner the naira notes were scattered, he concluded that Harrison Gwamnishu had removed some money from the bag. Adding that, immediately he left the presence of the kidnappers, he started calling people to inform them that Harrison Gwamnishu had removed some money. And when the divisional police officer, DPO, asked Harrison Gwamnishu if actually he removed some money from the bag, Harrison said yes, stating clearly that that is how he does his work. The reasonable suspect never stated why such an information became an issue on social media even when his brother was still with the kidnappers. The reasonable suspect said, the kidnappers are now demanding the exact 5.4 million nairas balance of the 20 million nairas and an additional 60 million nairas ransom before they would release his elder brother. Harrison Gwamnishu, while speaking on Saturday, said, the reasonable suspect was arrested alongside others with guns in Auchi by soldiers, and they were subsequently handed over to the police area command in Auchi, and the police command thereafter transferred the suspects to the state police command in Benin City, where the reasonable suspect was set free without proper explanation from the police authority. Many who have spoken about the arrest of the reasonable suspect by the soldiers indicated that the reasonable suspect and others arrested alongside him were captured by the soldiers in a secret cult-related crime. And recent crackdowns in late 2025 and early 2026 in Edo State based on police reports have led to the arrest of over 112 suspects, many of whom confessed to being both kidnappers and secret cult members. If true, the reasonable suspect was arrested by soldiers in secret cult-related activities. On what ground was he granted bail or set free by the police? Who is the police authority that gave the order for the reasonable suspect to be set free even when the police authority knows that secret cult-related crime in the state is a capital offense that attracts more than 20 years jail term and life imprisonment? Information available to us indicated that the reasonable suspect may have run away from Nigeria, and the current condition of things with the people still remaining with the kidnappers are yet to be ascertained. We had reported that Harrison Gwamnashu, the founder of a registered private organization assisting the Nigeria security operatives with credible and reliable intelligence information that have led to the killing and arrest of several kidnappers in the West Africa country, especially in the South-South geopolitical zone of Edo and Delta states, in a video statement issued via his verified social media account a few hours ago, has said that the family member and a brother of the kidnapped couple who worked with him and his team to deliver the prepared sting operational 20 million naira's ransom to the kidnappers has been arrested alongside his gang members with guns. But, according to Harrison Gwamnashu, immediately the Nigeria police force noticed that he could vividly recognize the suspect as a brother to the kidnapped couple. The Nigeria police force quickly released the suspect and charged other members of his gang arrested in Auchi to court. Even when the kidnapping involving the suspect's brother and wife is generating more reactions after the wife was set free by the kidnappers, while the husband, who is the suspect's brother, is still held in captivity till date by the kidnappers, since both were kidnapped in their home at Avili village in the Etsiko West local government area of Edo State in late days of November 2025.
As I wait, I drop the money for brothers, make I start to take more the money. First, the Ghana must go. Immediately I put that Ghana must go. I miss the money just scatter. From there, I felt like something went wrong, something happened.
As in, something come for your body.
So understand, another spirit enter my body. Like,
you see, I said they separate the money.
Yes,
yeah,
went into my body.
These people.
Like, man, I just pray no one else get to express something like this, because it's not a nice story to tell.
Yeah.
You understand? They bring one come outside, and I go carry the money. As I carry the money, I just say they don't scatter. Bro, how I want to cut money with those scatter? They don't already speak Hausa. Ni Nigeria Hausa, me and they speak Hausa, they speak Yoruba. You understand? They were speaking Hausa, but I kept them deaf ear. You understand? The Koyos, they do their thing. Like they speak, they crack on, they speak Hausa. Before you know, a few minutes later, they go bring my brother wife from outside. They bring her from outside. The one has down and say whether I know me. As he won't talk, I spoke my language at once. I say, Vuno, which means shut up. I didn't hear you they talk. Who you be? I know you. After that, when I deny finish, he say, the other guy, where they speak English, where they speak Hausa, where they speak English, I mock them. Outside everybody speak English. They don't already collect my phone as at that moment. They say make I remove passcode. I tell them, my phone gets security process. If you are going to put your passcode, it's going to leak secrets. They call hold the phone. They call the look me. Then the other one call them and say, this money no complete. Now why I say they are got the verse, the paro? They like this now. Say they will release only my brother wife. Give me. Say they release only my brother wife. Say they will cut that money. Say that my brother and I go cut that money. But if they cut and say the money completes, they will call us. They will, sorry, if the cutter say the money completes, they will give my brother transport to come meet us for us. But if the cutter say no complete, they will call us to break the balance.
Okay.
They call my brother wife say me follow me. Guess what? My brother wife say no go. He said no go leave the husband for bush. I hold that one hand. I drag on. As I drag, I say enter motor. As we enter motor, they give me my phone and my SIM card. I put that back beside my phone. Now I begin to call my friends, they report this police. Which RC do.
Okay, now you come call Z004.
Yes, I call. No, as we reach, they'll call you accused Z004. Say me provide RC.
Because if they don't see RC, now
RC run away. So how Z004 we know that Z004 RC take call. Yes.
Well, they not be RC go deliver the money. Okay, but wait a minute.
No be RC no go bush oh. RC no go bush oh. RC no go bush oh. RC no enter bush oh.
Good, we don't understand this one. For Nigeria they listen to you now, so and I want really ask
RC no go bush oh.
I want
RC enter the bush oh. Alice no go bush, oh. Alice no go bush, oh. Mona no let her the brainwash, now no go bush, oh. Alice go enter the forest.
The man in the bush, the man still heading.
Alice no go bush, oh. Alice no go in the bush. So,
still be the real motive why una invite Harrison before. What is the motive?
Was,
yes,
he was going to deliver the money to the kidnappers by himself, and he's going to help to capture those kidnappers.
Okay, yes, now I understand.
Now why? Now we take carry her come at those states. We say
how much they go pay you.
He said they no go pay him. He said na free work they do. He said they no go pay him. We no pay RDC 5 naira. Even when the hotel where RDC lodge, Z04 called me say see how much it take lodge hotel. Now Z04 tell me say pay for the hotel. Even the food where RDC eat for the hotel, Z04 na pay. He called it tell me say see how much the food. Even barbecue where RDC eat for the hotel, everything, the rice and stew where he eat. I was not able to eat at that. I was not able to eat at that moment. RDC eats twice. Now Z04 pay, but Z04 called it tell me. Z04 now tell us no worry. If my brother come outside, I will pay you.
Easy.
Now from where we reach hotel, we no see Harrison. Police call all of us go police station. And from police station, they call Harrison. Took like 20 minutes before Harrison come. As Harrison come, now call the hit my hand for people. Harrison must provide money we carry. Before Harrison, the DPO of the police station call Harrison say, did you remove from money from the money? He say yes. Bros, now from there my body call cool. I call hold my head. I say, what did you say? You remove money, Harrison? As the person asked, how much did you remove? He said, I have no idea. Immediately, the DP of the police ordered that the hotel should be closed. Nobody should enter or go out from the hotel. Then he ordered some of his men to follow, I think, RDC boys to the hotel, to the room he lodged. Now the hotel room, now they for retrieve that 5.4 million naira. Cash. The money was brought to the DPO's office. I have the video when RDC was explaining. 2. As at 11 p.m., we're still at the police station that day, 11:30. So some of my friends are here, they are aware of this issue, this whole thing.
Now, so what's the situation of your brother now in the bush?
Bro, the craziest thing is that since where RDC got involved, when they felt arrest RDC, where those kidnappers up to the court. Later, they start to the call us, they start to the call. Because I was arrested, something else happened, I was arrested, I won't lie.
Yeah.
So I could be like, no, be me for they make the calls. And my brother, Ilo, and the wife, and my brother, wife, they in charge of the calls. And even when they go do meetings with RDC for state CID, where they say, they continue to negotiate with the kidnappers. Because the kidnappers now call they say, they break 60 million naira. Plus another 5.4 million naira, we no complete. 5.4 million naira, we be their balance, where RDC remove for the first initial 20 million naira. You understand? It could be 65,400,000. But later on, the kidnappers cost me every 50 million naira. So since then, those kidnappers no they negotiate. So RDC and a lawyer now, they want me we come on like all do videos, say RDC no thief, RDC, all those things that happen and misunderstanding. They will go to the police station, go to DPP and withdraw the case. Because the case is still there. The case has not been dismissed. RDC was just released conditionally. So since RDC got involved in this case, the case has worsened more.
About to come to that. Exactly. We saw that he went ahead to say that the man is still in a very critical condition and the family is now selling the man's property. Is that true? Harrison, would you confirm that?
I wouldn't know if the man is in critical. I wouldn't know if the man is in a critical condition.
No, I mean the property, the selling of the man's property, that the family reached out that they need to now sell the property.
That's true. A friend reached out to them, a friend of mine reached out to them and said the wife to the man reached out to a friend, somebody who is close to me. I said, the kidnappers reached out. They are demanding for so stuff. Can you people assist us? And the man was angry and said, because the man already advised them before now, and the police, that keeping Harrison in the cell is not going to resolve this matter. The Harrison can assist you guys in getting this guy out. Yeah. Because while I was in the station, what went to the bush was still showing us the exact location where this guy are. But the police refused to act on it.
So okay, the police didn't want to act on it, but they knew where the location was.
They refused to. Yes.
So what would be the reason for that?
I don't know. But the police was just hammering on prosecuting me for God knows. I don't know. Even till now, I'm yet to understand why they were so much. I believe because of my years of advocacy on police brutality and extortion. Maybe that's the reason why. All right. So the man reached out to them and said, the woman reached out to them. The woman reached out to the man and said that they wanted assistance. The man said, Harrison's name has been destroyed on social media space. Like, we only came to him. And they also acknowledged the family of the man and the woman acknowledged that only came to assist them. Okay, fine. How will you assist? And the man told them, fine, this man's name has been destroyed on social media. You people have to, after he rendered assistance, you people have to still go back to the media and tell them the role I played in this whole matter. And the woman was recording every conversation she had with the man, which they sent to VDM, and VDM posted it. So imagine the kidnappers listening
to that conversation.
To such things. What will happen?
But Harrison, I also know that a 20 million was involved in this whole thing. You know, where did that 20 million actually go to?
Yes.
Yeah, Harrison, can you hear me?
It went to the kidnappers.
Did you give it to them directly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Did you give it to them directly?
No, I don't pay ransom to kidnappers. The family went in and gave the money to the kidnappers.
So the family met with the kidnappers?
Yes, the kidnappers, they is give and take. They don't drop it somewhere and move. No, you bring the money and give them in their legs while they are there with you. They will confirm the money and then you move. They release the person and give to you. But on this one, the money was not counted to know if it's below 20 million or above 20 million. This is the point you must note.
This same guy you see here.
This is the point. The money was not counted to know if it's above 20 million or below 20 million. But what went into that forest was 20 million naira. Was 20 million that went into that forest. Yes, that was what went into that forest.
But you know, right about now.
So, but there are things involved which I cannot say now.
Exactly.
Yes,
I get it.
Yeah. So, but what went into that forest was 20 million that went into that forest. And again, please, that man was not kidnapped alone and the wife. Another family were kidnapped too. A man and the wife was kidnapped. The man also is currently there with the man. The man family brought 20 million naira to the same kidnapper. The kidnappers took that money and they not also released that man too. So it's not just this man in that forest now.
So now it's not just the man in the forest. Actually, there's another man in the forest as well.
No, there's another man in the forest. The man was kidnapped with the wife and then a little child. The kidnappers noticed that the child was crying. They released the wife and the child to go. They held the man. That man, the family also came to pay money, 20 million naira. They took the money that same day, that same night.
But Harrison, with this whole thing, I'm worried that, you know, these families, you are saying that these families go and they see these kidnappers one-on-one. You know, I'm worried that if they know where they are, they see them, you know, that's very scary. Anything could have happened to these families. Why didn't the police take charge at any point of all of this?
They have opportunity to have strike them. They have big opportunity.
So the police had the opportunity to strike them?
They had the opportunity. They said that my method was outdated. That was what they gave. I said no. I gave them videos and pictures of the recoveries we've made. The videos, pictures of other of these kidnappers that they have been neutralized by the military. I don't neutralize. I don't do anything. With my team, we show them the tracks of these kidnappers using our device. That has been working for us. So sometimes the security will tell you I'm not part of the operation because they don't want to, you know, show their lapses to the world. So they will tell you that it's not part of the operation. They only give us intelligence. I'm part of the operation. I'm there at the forefront. I'm there with them.
You came out and apologized.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Harrison Gwamnashu, the founder of a registered private organization assisting the Nigeria security operatives with credible and reliable intelligence information that have led to the killing and arrest of several kidnappers in the West Africa country, especially in the South-South geopolitical zone of Edo and Delta states. In a video statement issued via his verified social media account a few hours ago, has said that the family member and a brother of the kidnapped couple who worked with him and his team to deliver the prepared sting operational 20 million naira's ransom to the kidnappers has been arrested alongside his gang members with guns. But, according to Harrison Gwamnashu, immediately the Nigeria police force noticed that he could vividly recognize the suspect as a brother to the kidnapped couple. The Nigeria police force quickly released the suspect and charged other members of his gang arrested in Auchi to court, even when the kidnapping involving the suspect's brother and wife is generating more reactions after the wife was set free by the kidnappers while the husband, who is the suspect's brother, is still held in captivity till date by the kidnappers, since both were kidnapped in their home at Avili village in the Etsiko West local government area of Edo State in late days of November 2025. According to Harrison Gwamnashu, before the ransom money was delivered to the kidnappers inside the bush, the kidnappers made a phone call to the arrested and quickly set free suspect to give him the exact location to drop the money. He was surprised to hear one of the kidnapped victims, the husband, still with the kidnappers, begging his brother, who is currently seen as the suspect behind the kidnapping, to forgive him if he has done anything wrong to him. The pleading shocked him, but Harrison said he decided to act as if he never heard anything. Harrison Gwamnashu added that the suspect, he was the family member that raised the alarm that the ransom money wasn't complete, that was the reason the kidnappers only released the wife and refused to set free the husband. Stating clearly that everyone who participated in taking the money to the kidnappers affirmed that the kidnappers never counted the money. That even if the kidnappers had counted the money, he prepared the money specially by only scattering the tracking devices on the dummy Naira notes that looked like original Naira notes in a manner that made the whole money complete. The family member who delivered the ransom to the kidnappers and some of his gangs were arrested with guns in Auchi by soldiers. The soldiers handed them over to Auchi Area Command. Auchi Area Command transferred them to Anti-Cultism Unit SCID Benin, and along the side, an order came that the boy should be released. Other people with him were charged to court and sent to prison. Same boy was with us in Auchi and knows our plans. I told the police my story. My statement is with the police. They did nothing. Continuing, Harrison Gwamnashu stated verbatim thus: "Good afternoon, my name is Harrison Gwamnashu. While I was in custody in State SID, Benin, at the CP's office, CP was in that meeting. The Chief of Staff to the Governor was in that meeting, the CSO to the Governor, Chief Security Officer to the Governor was in that meeting, the Commissioner for Security and Public Safety was in that meeting, the Head of Investigative Team was in that meeting, the family members were in that meeting, the wife of the man kidnapped was in that meeting, his brother was in that meeting, and other parties were there. My lawyer was in that meeting, and then a friend of mine who lives in Benin was also in that meeting. And the family pleaded. They said that nobody should ever post about this matter on social media until the matter is resolved. I accepted. When I left the police custody, I did not say anything about it. They have been the ones now going around telling people things that never existed. And they're now posting on social media. People are now changing, posting narratives and the rest of it. Now, number one, this guy you see on the screen, this guy, this is the family member that went to drop the money to the kidnappers. He was aware of the arrangement. The arrangement was that, now, look at, when I was in Asaba, they said the kidnappers demanded for 50 million for both of them, the husband and wife. And they were able to raise 20 million Naira. Now, the kidnappers now told them that with 20 million Naira they will release only the woman. That was what they told me while I was in Asaba. Later, they said the kidnappers accepted to collect 20 million Naira for the both of them. They pleaded that the wife is pregnant, although the kidnappers were telling them that money would be for only the wife. Later they said the kidnappers accepted to collect 20 million Naira. Why I was invited was not to go and give the kidnappers money. No, it was for me to fix something in the bag of money they are taking to the kidnappers. This is not what I am supposed to say on the social media space. But, now, it is time for me to say it the way it is. So that anywhere it is going, people will know the true fact of the story. So that they will stop believing one-sided story. And when I got into Auchi, this same guy you see here, they brought the money to my hotel. I first of all went to their hotel. They were crowded. Young boys were there. They now came to my hotel. While in my hotel room, they left somebody, a doctor, who is a brother to the woman. He was sitting there in my room. I did my job perfectly. The bag was sealed up for them to take it to the kidnappers in the forest. Now, before they moved to the forest, the kidnappers called. And he answered the phone, which was the last pickup, for them to give direction where they're coming. The man in the bush, the man with the still held in the bush, was begging this guy. The doctor was there. The doctor, the brother to the woman, was sitting down there. My driver was there and other people were sitting down there. The man in the bush was begging the brother, this one, begging this guy. He said, please, if I have wronged you before, forgive me. If I have done something to you before, forgive me. And he began to beg him. A beg, now, me and my wife are here. You know, my wife, a beg. If I have done you wrong before, I begged, forgive me. I begged, he was begging this guy. Then, the phone hanged up. I asked him, why was your brother begging you? He said, I get previous transaction. I said, hey, it's okay, no problem. I just do as if it didn't even go in my head. Nothing happened. I just left it. So, they carried the money to the bush. And when they got to the bush, they said, the kidnappers did not count the money to know whether it is above 20 million naira or below 20 million naira. If they have counted that money will be 20 million naira because what we did was what we are supposed to do. They only saw that the money was counted, but they did not count the money. It was this same guy, thank God he was there with my driver, who confirmed everything. It was this same guy that came out and raised alarm that it was what I did that made him to hold the guy. Now, listen, kidnappers, these kidnappers, we've monitored them for months, both in Delta and in Edo states. Now, they don't count money, 100,000, 200,000, they count in bundles. So, what we did was, they wouldn't have even noticed anything at all. They wouldn't have noticed anything at all. We did our job perfectly well and they took the money there. The money was not counted. Now, listen, now it was not only this man they went to release and the wife. Another family they kidnapped. This family they kidnapped. This one they kidnapped. They kidnapped this man, the wife and the husband. But, along the line, they released the woman and the child because the child was crying. The same family, this other family went also to pay ransom again to kidnappers too. And when they got there, the same kidnappers, when they got there, the kidnappers collected 20 million naira and they didn't release the man. So, both this one and this one were taken back to the bush and the woman was released. That was what transpired. So, while I was in custody in Benin, I saw young people. They arrested young guys, brought them to the cell. What happened? They said this boy here, this same person that paid ransom, they arrested him. He was arrested in Auchi, arrested them with guns, not only him, many of them. And suddenly, they released this guy, this same guy that went to pay this ransom, that the order came from the police that they should let him go. They released him, and I was in the cell with them. In fact, when they brought him to my cell, they quickly changed these people from my cell to another cell. Immediately, because maybe they knew that those guys, they know me. They changed them from my cell to another cell. I was surprised. Now, if you watch this video, you see what this boy is saying here. He said, look at him, celebrating when he was released. You like your freedom. Freedom is priceless. Yes, if you like me, I give you. No, but if you like me, I give you. At times for who? At times, I kill you. They did not charge this boy and other ones to court. This was the same guy who took the money to go and give the kidnappers. The same guy the brother in the bush was begging. That money was 20 million naira. 20 million naira was in that bag. 20 million naira. 20 million naira. If the kidnappers counted that money, at that first stage, it would count 20 million naira. But the social media issues, they now increase now. They announced that the family should bring in some amount of money. So, my brothers, I did my best. I did my best. I didn't do anything wrong in that matter. I did everything possible, but there are things I would still say. How the money, everything that happened, I would say it. Because if I say it, I think that ends my work too. I won't be doing anything for anybody again. But I have to clear my name. I have to clear my name. So, those of you who destroy my name on the social media space, there is no problem. This narrative, they're selling to you. Go ahead with it. Go ahead with it. Tunde Ednut, I was bashing him, yes. I messaged him, I said, why do you stop posting? That VDM said he has something against me. And you stopped posting. He could not bring it up. Why do you stop posting? Post what? Just post it. Ask him questions. Where is the evidence you say you have for Nigerians? You are giving us 24 hours to confess. Where is the evidence?
Good afternoon, my name is Harrison Gwamnishu. While I was in custody, State CID Benin, at the CP's office, alright, CP was in that meeting, the Chief of Staff to the Governor was in that meeting, the CSO to the Governor, Chief Security Officer to the Governor was in that meeting, the Commissioner for Security and Public Safety was in that meeting, the Head of Investigative Team, the CSP of Sage, was in that meeting, the family members were in that meeting, the wife of the man kidnapped was in that meeting, his brother was in that meeting, and other parties were there. My lawyer, Barrister Favor, was in that meeting, and then a friend of mine who lives in Benin was also in that meeting. And the family pleaded. They said that nobody should ever post about this matter on social media until the matter is resolved. And I said, when I left the police custody, I did not say any pen about it. They have been the one now going around telling people things that never existed, and they're now posting on social media. People are now changing, twisting narrative, and the rest of them. Now, number one, this guy you see on the screen, this is the family member that went to drop the money to the kidnappers. He was aware of the arrangement. The arrangement was that, now look at, when I was in Asaba, they said the kidnappers demanded for 50 million for both of them, the husband and wife. And they were able to raise 20 million naira. Now the kidnappers now told them that with 20 million naira, they will release only the woman. That was what they told me while I was in Asaba. Later they said kidnappers accepted to collect 20 million naira for the both of them. That they pleaded that the wife is pregnant. Or the kidnappers were telling them that money would be for only the wife. Later they said the kidnappers accepted to collect 20 million naira. Why I was invited was not to go and give kidnappers money. No. It was for me to fish in something in the bag of money they are taking to the kidnappers. This is not what I'm supposed to say on the social media space. But man, it is time for me to make it say the way it is. So that anywhere it's going, people will know the true fact of the story. So that they will stop believing one-sided story. And when I got into Awuchi, this same guy you see here, they brought the money to my hotel. I first of all went to the hotel. We were crowded, young boys were there. They now came to my hotel. While in my hotel room, they left somebody, a doctor, who is a brother to the woman. He was sitting there in my room. I did my job perfectly. The bag was sealed up for them to take it to the kidnappers in the forest. Now, before they moved to the forest, the kidnappers called and he answered the phone, it was a loudspeaker, for them to give direction where they are coming. The man in the bush, the man still head in the bush, was begging this guy. If the doctor would be truthful, the doctor was there. The doctor, the brother to the woman, was sitting down there. My driver was there, and other people were sitting down there. The man in the bush was begging the brother, this one, begging this guy. He said, please, if I have wronged you before, forgive me. If I have done something to you before, forgive me. And then they beg you. I beg, now me and my wife, they here. You know, so my wife get belly. I beg, if I don't do you wrong before, I beg, forgive me. I beg. He was begging this guy. Then, the phone hung up, and I asked him, why was your brother begging you? He said, then get previous transaction. I said, I said, okay, no problem. It didn't even go my head. Nothing happened. I just left it. So they carried the money to the bush. And when they got to the bush, They said the kidnappers did not count the money to know whether it is above 20 million naira or below 20 million naira. If they have counted that money will be 20 million naira, because what we did was what we are supposed to do. Now, they only saw that the money was scattered, but they did not count the money. It was this same guy. Thank God he was there with my driver, who confirmed everything. It was the same guy that came out and raised alarm that it was what I did that made them to help the guy. Now, listen. These kidnappers, we've monitored them for months, both in Delta and in Edo State. Now, they don't count money 100,000, 200, they count in bundles. So what we did was, they wouldn't have even noticed anything at all. They wouldn't have noticed anything at all. We did our job perfectly well, and they took the money there. The money was not counted. Now listen. Now it was not only this man they went to release and the wife. Another family they kidnapped. This family they kidnapped. This one they kidnapped. They kidnapped this man, the wife, and the husband. But along the line they released the woman and the child, because the child was crying. The same family, this other family went also to pay ransom again to kidnappers too. And when they got there, the same kidnappers, when they got there, the kidnappers collected 20 million naira and they don't release the man. So both this one and this one were taken back to the bush, and the woman was released. That was what transpired. So while I was in custody in Benin, I saw young people. They arrested young guys, brought them to the cell. What happened? They said this boy here, this same person that paid ransom, they arrested him. He was arrested in Awuchi. Arrested them with gun. Not only him, there are many of them. And suddenly, they released this guy. This same guy that went to pay this ransom. That the order came from the police that they should let him go. They released him. And I was in the cell with them. In fact, when they brought them to my cell, the same family, this other family went also to. They quickly changed these people from my cell to another cell immediately, because maybe they knew that those guys they know me. They changed them from my cell to another cell. I was surprised. Now, if you watch this video, you see what this boy is saying here. He said, "Look at him celebrating when he."
You like your freedom?
Freedom is priceless. If you like, then I give you. Nobody feel. I don't use money to ask freedom.
All thanks to who?
All thanks to you.
Let me play it for you.
They did not charge this boy and another ones to court. This was the same guy who took the money to go and give the kidnappers. The same guy the brother in the bush was begging. That money was 20 million naira. 20 million naira was in that bag. 20 million naira. 20 million naira. If the kidnappers counted that money at that first stage, it would count 20 million naira. But the social media issues, they now increase the ransom that the family should bring in this amount of money. So my brothers, I did my best. I didn't do anything wrong in that matter. I did everything possible. But there are things I will still say. How the money, everything that happened, I will say it. Because if I say it, I think that ends my work too. I won't be doing anything for anybody again. But I have to clear my name. I have to clear my name. For those of you destroying my name on the social media space, there is no problem. This narrative they are selling to you. Go ahead with it. Go ahead with it. Tunde had not. I was bashing him. Yes, I messaged him and said, "Why do you stop posting?" That VDM said he has something against me, and you stop posting. He could not bring it up. Why did you stop posting? Post what? Just post it. Ask him questions. Where's the evidence you say you have for Nigerians? They're giving Harrison 24 hours to confess. Where's the evidence?
Uzoakwa Radio, bringing you the news in a more digital way. Uzoakwa Radio, bringing you the news in a more digital way.